Thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone for jumping on this presentation today. And first, let me start by, saying that everyone at Altronix wishes everyone that we are doing business with, everyone out there on this presentation today, that them and their families are healthy and safe. And, Altronix is an essential business. So we are manufacturing and shipping equipment with a little bit longer lead times than normal, but not much. And so anything that we can do to answer your calls, technical support is still available. We have an online chat tool on our website. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us at all. So today's presentation is streamlining access control design and enterprise network connectivity. We have a two-part session that will highlight new ways to deploy scalable, cost-effective access control systems with network power management, which is also very relevant today, as well as feature new 802.3 BT PoE solutions which support the latest high-powered network devices. So with that, let's get started with part one, streamlining access control design utilizing Trove. Trove from Altronix is an access control and power integration solution that is designed to easily combine Altronix power and accessories with controllers from leading brands. Trove simplifies the system design and wire management, reducing installation and labor costs, and thereby maximizing profits. So we look at a description of a traditional access control system deployment. Generally speaking, it requires large amounts of wall space, which then has increased labor and increased costs. And of course, there's multiple points for system troubleshooting. And so we have a controller typically in its enclosure. We have the Altronix power supplies to provide power for the mission critical devices. And when that's spread out on a wall, it takes up a lot of room. In order to maximize wall space, the Altronix Trove series can be deployed as an all-in-one solution. You can control multiple doors, system power, and battery backup all in one enclosure. So big difference from the picture that we saw with the Paxton controllers in multiple enclosures on a wall to them neatly put together inside a Trove enclosure. The Trove solution from Altronix accommodates 40+ access control brands, and that continues to grow. And the beauty is really, besides the saving of wall space, it's a single point for service and maintenance. Additional features of the Trove enclosures are removable backplanes, which gives you the ability to send the enclosures out to a job site, have the electricians hang and pipe the enclosures, while in your shop, you can mount the access controllers, Altronix power and sub-assemblies, and do inner wiring there. So then you just have to take the backplane out to the job site, hang it in the enclosure, and land and dress your field wiring. There are three sizes of the Trove enclosures for wall mount applications. We have a Trove 1, Trove 2, and Trove 3. The dimensions are on the screen to see, and the pictures here show various access control brands that work with Trove. So when we look at the individual enclosures, obviously we talk about Trove simplifying the board layout, wire management, reducing the installation time and labor. The Altronix enclosures are designed so that even when you have it populated with power supplies and sub-assemblies, that you have the ability to fit backup batteries in the enclosure. We also do our best, again, depending on the brands that we're working with, to leave plenty of room for wire management, making it easy to facilitate the wiring, trace it, and service it after the fact. Some of the brands that we work with in our Trove 1 are noted on the screen. Our Trove 2 is, I would say, easily our most popular Trove style in that it encompasses the majority of the brands that we work with and our unique design, again, because of the depth and the ability to use door backplanes. We can provide, in dense applications, more doors of access control in a single enclosure than the competition. And finally, the Trove 3. Trove 3 is a 36 by 30 enclosure. It's a little over 7 inches deep. This is going to leave plenty of room for the access control, the power supply, sub-assemblies, and wire management, as well as backup batteries as discussed. So what we want you to know about Trove is you have the ability to design a system to your exact specifications, but we also provide factory pre-wired assembled kits. And the Trove models include a lot of accessory options. And you'll find those on our Trove design tool, which you're going to see here momentarily. And we don't want you to forget that all Altronix manufactured products are made in the USA and backed by a lifetime warranty. So we have the ability to go vertical now with access control as well. So limited wall space can get so extreme that we have to start mounting equipment into IT style racks. Plus we have some customers that desire having empty walls and putting everything into an IT rack so that they can maximize the cost of that vertical spacing. The Altronix Trove rack is designed to fully extend, facilitate service and installation, and a Z bracket on the back of the unit provides for nice wire management, eliminating the need for a large service loop behind the rack. All of the Trove racks come with, and Trove enclosures, come with tamper switches, cam locks, and here as we see, the Trove rack will accommodate 24-inch to 36-inch 4-post racks. The way our Trove rack was designed, the enclosure, is going to give you the ultimate in flexibility, where it can be designed with power and sub-assemblies along with access controllers, as well as in a solution where we could take Altronix power supplies and access controllers only, and then use subsequent racks just for the access control boards. The Trove solution will work outdoors as well. So the outdoor series, which is ideal for vehicle, pedestrian gate access control installations, is going to provide a NEMA 4 IP66 rated enclosure with stainless steel lockable latches, a steel backplane, and standoffs and mounts for Altronix power sub-assemblies and access control panels. These enclosures are available in various sizes. Anytime you have to deploy product, whether it's you know, a wireless access point, etc., something that requires being outdoors and in a weatherproof enclosure, look to Altronix. We may have a solution for you there.
And they're saying, can't we have lower vacancy?
So the Trove system design tool on our website is an excellent source to either design your a la carte Trove solution or find our kits that are designed to fit your 4, 8, 16-door applications or more. If you go to adi.trove.altronix.com, you'll have the opportunity to select the enclosure that you want to work with, then choose the brand of access control that you'll be using, and dragging and dropping again the power supplies, components, or access controllers right onto the backplane, creating your own system design, or utilizing one of our pre-configured kits. Once you've set up your Trove design, you've got the ability to print off, save, export, and email the bill of materials for the project. And it will show you a list of all the Altronix components that are required, as well as the quantity of the brand of access controllers that you'll be working with. So there's applications where you want to customize your access system. And Altronix has the most versatile sub-assemblies to make this happen. We'll start with our VR6 voltage regulator. The voltage regulator, the VR6, is designed to take a single 24 volts DC input and regulate it down to 12 or 5 volts DC for access control devices. There's a unique 8-pin connector, which allows for stacking sub-assemblies right on top, and an output voltage switch to allow you to choose whether you want 5 volts DC or 12 volts DC out.
That backlog of people
The PDS-8 is designed, the PDS-8 is a dual input power distribution board. It's designed to take up to 2 power supplies in and provide multiple outputs that are voltage selectable. So for instance, we could take both a 12 volts DC and 24 volts DC power supply into this distribution board, and we can choose per output 12 or 24 volts DC with bicolored LEDs that indicate the voltage at a glance. This product also has spade terminals, which makes it easy to daisy chain power distribution boards together for the most demanding applications. Here we show the PDS-8 stacked on top of a voltage regulator VR6 utilizing the 8-pin connector. In this particular application, we can have a single 24 volt DC power source to the PDS-8, and yet each output will be selectable for 12 or 24 volts DC, or 5 and 24 volts DC. Again, each individual output has a bicolored LED to indicate the output voltage at a glance, making things easy for on-site service and maintenance. The PDS-8 and VR6 can be ordered individually. We also offer this product in a kit, and all of the Altronix sub-assemblies are available with PTC protected outputs as well as fused. Our ACM S8 is a dual input access power controller. Let this product do the heavy lifting for your door hardware and locking needs. It has 8 access control trigger inputs across the top, 8 relay outputs across the bottom. Similar to that PDS-8, it is a dual input board, so it would allow you to take up to 2 power supplies in. And again, we could have a 12 volts DC and 24 volts DC power supply coming in to the ACM8, and then control individually each output and provide the output voltage of 12 or 24 volts DC. The fire alarm trigger on the ACM S8 is designed to take a trigger input and allow you to choose per output how you want that relay to operate in an emergency situation. Spade terminals also on the ACM S8 give us the ability to, again, transfer power from one ACM S8 to another for larger applications. The ACM S8 has an 8-pin connector that works with our VR6 voltage regulator. With that 8-pin connector, we can stack the ACM S8 directly on top of a VR6 and also have dual voltage capabilities, selectable per output, 12 or 24 volts DC. The VR6 and the ACM S8 can be ordered separately, and again, as you see on the screen here, it can be ordered as a kit, all in one package. Link technology from Altronix is the ability to control, monitor, and report power diagnostics from anywhere across the network. And how relevant is this today? The ability to know when you have devices that need to be addressed, power issues, things of that nature. It gives us the ability to now be able to remotely access the power supply, receive notifications from that power supply, control outputs and reset devices, monitor our battery health, as well as the input and output voltage and current draws. Predictive maintenance comes into play now. As a device starts to fail, it might start pulling more current. We have the ability to get a notification, potentially service the client and replace the part before it totally goes out of service. The Link 2 is a network communication module designed to work with our eFlow series of power supplies. A single Link 2 module can communicate with up to 2 eFlow power supply chargers, and we're going to monitor the DC output voltage and current draw, AC and battery status, as well as unit temperature. Each Link 2 module also has 2 network-controlled Form C relays that can be used to connect to a multitude of devices. So if we needed to remotely turn on or off an intrusion system or an HVAC system, we have flexibility to do that all from a web browser. The Link 8 PD is a link-enabled power distribution board. Similar to the PD-S8 that we saw earlier, it is a dual input power distribution board that gives us the ability to utilize one or two AC or DC power supplies and then choose the voltage from either power supply per output. Battery backup is selectable by output. AC and battery status are monitored. And with the output voltage is selectable for each of the 8 outputs when utilizing 2 power supplies, or you can utilize a VR6 voltage regulator with a single 24 volt DC power supply. Here we show on the callouts that the output voltage is selectable for each of the 8 outputs, as mentioned. We've got the Ethernet connection for power and control of the devices across the network, and a USB 2.0 jack, which gives us the ability to program the IP address, for instance, and monitor the Link 8 PD directly to a laptop or PC. The Link 8 ACM is a dual input access power controller. It gives us the ability to utilize a single or 2 AC or DC power supplies in. Choose, again, per output, voltage selectable with bicolored LEDs. Fire alarm disconnect, trigger input. We have the ability to choose per output how we want the relays to follow. Provide free egress in a case of emergency. This board also has an 8-pin connector that is designed to stack right on top of our voltage regulator VR6. Again, when using the VR6 voltage regulator underneath an ACM-S8, the ACM-S8 stacked on top, we have the ability now to provide 12 or 24 volts DC per output from a single 24 volt DC input. Again, spade terminals here make it easy to daisy chain power to additional Altronix subassemblies for large applications. Tango. Tango is revolutionizing the power of access control. Tango is a 4P PoE driven power supply. It is designed to convert 802.3 BT PoE input into 12 and or 24 volts DC outputs at 90 watts. So the fall of 2018, we had IEEE ratify the new 802.3 BT standard. There's multiple classes, I believe 7 or 8 classes for the 802.3 BT, and you will start seeing more and more devices, power devices coming out from various manufacturers, cameras, access points, things of that nature that work to this standard. When we take this PoE, we have the ability to deliver both 12 and 24 volts DC output, monitor power as well as battery, provide a Life PO4 battery backup, that's a lithium iron phosphate battery, and we've got a pass-through port for Ethernet data. In this application diagram that we're looking at here, we have multiple Trove enclosures, each with a Tango board. The Tango board has an 8-pin connector that allows it to, again, give us the ability to stack our sub-assemblies, power distribution boards, access power controllers on top. In this case, we've got a 16-door access control system that's utilizing a mercury-based hardware and our Netway 4 BT power injector. So you can see on the right-hand side, we have our maximum current draws of all of the system components. This is obviously a very important piece to deploying the Tango system. On our website, we have a Tango design calculator that allows you to enter in the max current draws of all the devices that you'll be using and help you design a system appropriately. You can see here with battery charging, we have a requirement of 44.25 watts of power. In the picture to the left, we've got our Netway 4 BT. That's a 4-output 802.3 BT power injector that is providing power out to the multiple Trove enclosures, each output at 90 watts. You'll note also in the Netway 4 BT that we have battery charging circuit. Altronix offers an RE2, a battery rack tray. So we're in the calculations on the right, we're showing that we've got a requirement of 10 watts to have a battery in each enclosure. By leveraging the battery charging circuit on the Netway 4BT and the Altronix RE2 rack battery enclosure, we can actually have all of our battery backup at the IT rack as opposed to having batteries scattered throughout a facility. Again, saving time and labor. The Tango is designed to eliminate the need for an electrician, save costs on conduit, circuits, cabling type, the way that cable is run, and of course, regulations as well for service and maintenance. Now we're using an all low voltage solution to provide power for our access control system. Altronix offers a multitude of power injectors. The 802.3 BT midspan series includes a Netway 1 BT. That's a single port injector, provides up to 90 watts to a device, and it has an auxiliary class 2 power limited output, which actually allows us to provide that 90 watts at 56 volts DC over a pair of copper wires. The Netway 4BT and Netway 8BT are 4-port and 8-port midspan injectors. The 4-port model has a full 360 watts of power. Each port can pass 90 watts simultaneously. And each of the Netway 4BT and Netway 8BT have a built-in battery charger. So again, we have the ability to provide battery backup at the power sourcing equipment, which can improve upon the battery backup that is typically found in an IT rack, and give us the ability to centralize our battery for maintenance and service. We enter now into part 2 of the presentation, Netway Spectrum, Enterprise Network Connectivity. Altronix continues to push further into the power and data transmission market, and our Netway Spectrum series is phenomenal. We'll start with a basic fiber media converter, but the Altronix product is hardened for temperature and humidity and is going to allow you to convert copper to fiber and back. You'll have plenty of value as it's made in the USA and with a lifetime warranty. And we have multi-port versions as well, 8 and 16 port models that are 1U rack mountable. Here we show an application diagram using a Netway SP1A fiber media converter, where we are converting fiber to copper in an application. As we look to further 802.3 BT needs in the marketplace, high-powered PTZ cameras, again, wireless access points, the Altronix Netway SP1 BT fiber media converter is designed to take a low voltage 48 to 56 volts DC input and provide up to 90 watts on an Ethernet output. We have a second Ethernet port for data pass-through and a gigabit SFP for fiber connectivity. This particular unit is also hardened for temperature and humidity. It can sit in the base of a light pole, the base of a emergency phone system, and we offer it in different variations. The Netway SP1 BT WP is a weatherproof version, and for applications where we might not have local power and we need to push power to the Netway SP1 BT from a head-end device, we've got a version without a power supply. And we'll show you where that comes into play. Many applications today have a situation where we need to deploy power devices at pole or perimeters of a location, facility. And many times, and oftentimes, those locations don't have power 24 hours a day. So the power to that pole is turned off during the daytime, requiring us to be able to push power to that remote location. The Altronix Netway SP4PX, the bottom half of the screen here that we're looking at, is a power supply that's designed to be able to push 120 watts per output over 56 volts DC, leveraging composite fiber. Composite fiber is where we have copper and fiber in the same jacket whether it's single mode or multi-mode, to facilitate pushing power to a remote device. In this case, we're showing composite fiber on port 1, passing power to a Netway SP1BT WPN, that's a weatherproof enclosure, the Netway SP1BT, to provide 90 watts to a remote device. The Netway SP4PX is rack mountable. It has a 6-foot 3-wire power cord to plug it into the rack, fiber media conversion to Ethernet on the rear. It also has a battery charging circuit for standby batteries. So again, we can utilize the RE2 rack tray to provide backup battery backup for our most demanding applications. We show also an SP1BT on the right-hand side in an application where we're not using composite fiber, so that you can see whether you have the copper and fiber in the same jacket or run separately, you've got the ability to push power to a remote end. On our website, we've got a Netway Spectrum range calculator that is going to tell you, based on your wattage requirements, what size cable, copper that you would need to be able to push power certain distances. I can tell you, over a 12-gauge copper, our Netway SP4PX can push 120 watts, almost 900 feet. The Netway SP4P is a model that also provides the same power out, utilizing composite fiber, only for applications that might require less wattage. You'll note that each of the SP4P and SP4PX offer 4 gigabit SFP fiber ports, as seen in the application diagram, and built-in battery charger. And here we show a picture of the RE2 rack mount battery enclosure. This is actually the back of the battery enclosure. 2U fits a standard 19-inch rack. It's got a removable faceplate on the front, again making it easy to test, service, and maintain batteries in an IT rack application. Our Netway SP4 WPX is an outdoor 4-port hardened switch solution. We offer the hardened switch solutions in 3-port, 4-port, and 8-port models with either single gigabit SFP or 2 gigabit SFP ports for uplink and daisy chain. We also have available in our hardened switching equipment VLAN for applications that require it. And all of the ports on the switch are configurable for PoE. So in the enclosure that we see on the right-hand side here, I could bring 115 or 230 volts AC in. I'm going to convert that to 56 volts DC at 120 watts to the 4-port switch. And I now have the ability to set all 4 ports at 30 watts each, or I can have 1 port at 60 watts and 2 at 30, or I could have 2 ports at 60 watts. It's a total of 120 watts, built-in battery charger, and a model with the X, as you see in the picture, has a battery shelf to facilitate mounting the backup batteries. And we've got link technology embedded, so we have the ability to control, monitor, and report power even in remote locations. Altronix offers SFP modules, both copper and fiber, for applications that require it. Our SFP modules are MSA compliant, which means they work with other people's product as well as ours. And it's a cost-effective way to utilize multi-mode, single-mode, LC duplex connectors, as well as a copper transceiver for applications where we want to connect up a wireless point-to-point transceiver to the SFP port on one of our hardened switches, rather than using fiber connectivity. So here we'll talk real briefly about the Altronix support team. So our outstanding group of professional sales folks are available to support your needs across the country. We have Ronnie Pennington in the Northeast, Brian Hodge in the Southeast, South Central is Brian McGee, West Coast, Stephen Oliva, and myself, JR, the central part of the country as well as Canada. Altronix uses a network of manufacturers' representatives for local support as well. You'll be able to find these support folks right on our website. And that includes Canada as well as Mexico and Latin America. So now we're going to open things up for questions. Do a little Q&A. And while we're waiting for those questions to roll in, I want to introduce Jason Herbst. Jason is here with the ADI Systems team, and he wants to discuss the value of ADI Systems to design and support. Jason?
Thank you. First, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for taking time out of your day to join our webinars today. We hope everybody is busy, but staying safe out there. I would also like to thank JR with Altronix for participating today as well. And of course, thank you to Mike Maston with ADI for putting this training series together. As JR said, my name is Jason Herbst. I'm from the ADI Systems Design Group, and I manage our AV and communications team. For more than 25 years, ADI System Design Team has provided our customers with recommendations and best practice knowledge to ensure successful system integrations. Our team of experts is here to help on all your system integration needs from 7:30 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So please give us a call or email us. We'd be happy to assist you with any of the Altronix product lines or any of our huge selection of low voltage products. Our phone number and email information can be found on our website at ADIGlobalDistribution.com, or please follow us on ADI Global on our Facebook and LinkedIn page. We also have a systems design team in Canada to support the line of products that they are also carrying in Canada. With that being said, I'll turn it back over to JR for Q&A. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks.
JR, I'll ask you the questions or read the comments, and we can work off of each other. I want to address something that came up during the webinar. We had some crosstalk. It was not from this webinar. Everybody was muted with the exception of JR at the time, so there was no way for me to alleviate that, and I apologize. ATUL Atul Sharma asked, will you share the PowerPoint at the end of the webinar? It's going to be posted on the ADI website, and you can find it at ADIGlobalDistribution.us for United States or .ca for Canada /webinars. I'm waiting for a hot link to show up, but it does exist. Later this week, I would expect a button, but for right now, if you just go to your local ADI homepage and put in /webinars, you can get to this one as well as all the ones that have already taken place, and it will also give you the ability to sign up for the ones that are presently scheduled. So that was just a little bit of side comment. Now, I only have a few questions, so if you have questions, please make sure that you put them into the Q&A box. Ready, JR?
Yes, sir.
Jim Ballatin wants to know, do these all have fire disconnect release for lock devices like the 600 ULXM? And that question came in pretty early, so I assume it was about the Trove.
Yeah, so let me address that. Jim, thanks for the question. So all of the Altronix access power controllers, as well as the model that you note there that has our MOM5 multi-output relay board, has fire alarm disconnect. The access power controllers all have fire alarm disconnect that is selectable per relay output. So you can choose which doors are going to drop on a trigger and which are not.
Thank you. Jim also wants to know, this came in about 10 after the hour, so probably still on the Trove. Is it compatible for a design with the S2 netbox?
Yeah, so Jim, that's another good question. And let me just shoot back real quick again on the fire disconnect, because I do want to note the eFlow series of power supplies that we offer that works with the Link 2 module That power supply has a fire alarm disconnect right on the power supply board. So for applications where you're okay with dropping power to the main output on a fire alarm trigger in, you've got the ability to do that right from the power supply board. So there's no additional modules or sub-assemblies necessary for that type of operation. I just wanted to make that clear. And the question from Jim on the S2 netbox is timely. So we do now have a Trove 2 SS2. It's a Trove 2 size enclosure with a backplane for S2 access control systems. It's going to accommodate the S2-INST bracket, which will then hold the S2 controllers. It'll have the ability to have Altronix power and sub-assemblies, and you'd be able to accommodate up to 14 doors of access control. Still have the benefit of the removable backplane, and of course it's manufactured in the USA.
Thank you. John Singletary wants to know, is there a maximum power limitation published? How many 10 amp ULX power supplies can be installed in a Trove 2 or a Trove 3?
Hey, John, thanks again for that question. So the way that the enclosure works is we have UL listed sub-assemblies and a UL listed Trove enclosure. And so you have the ability in most of those system designs, you would conceivably, at least in a Trove 2 off the top of my head, be able to install up to 4 Altronix power supplies. From a UL listing as a system, you would be limited to the models that offer that. And generally speaking, that would be up to 2 power supplies and multiple sub-assemblies.